Hi subscribers and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dominic James Murray, CEO and founder here at Cameron James. I've been transferring UK pensions for over 10 years, so I hope my experience can be valuable for you. If you would like to book in for a free initial consultation with myself or one of our senior financial advisors, you can use a calendar link in the description section below to find a day and time which is most suitable for yourself with a full due diligence email and your free consultation booked. Okay, so the TPO or the Pensions Ombudsman and why you might need to use them. So, the TPO is basically set up to determine and investigate any inquiries or complaints that you might have about pension related matters. So actually, we use the TPO, or we use the threat of the TPO a lot in our work with final salary schemes in the United Kingdom. Invariably, we will send in requests for them. Can we please have a CETV? There's missing information. Can we have this? Can we have that? Sometimes the service levels are just absolutely shocking. It can take them 20 to 30. We even had 45 working days at one point during COVID-related issues in the office for why their turnaround times were so slow. Very often we will refer back to them on email and say, we find your service levels very, very poor. Our client has a CETV with an expiry date within a period of 3 months. The client is now 4 to 6 weeks into his expiry date. You still haven't provided certain missing information. If you take another 2, 3, 4 weeks, the client is then left a very short period of time to take a very important decision on their final salary pension transfer. As such, if you cannot provide this information within 5 to 10 working days, which we believe is a respectable turnaround time, we will report you to the Pensions Ombudsman for a poor lack of service during this pension transfer. The other time we might report, or our clients might report to the Pensions Ombudsman, is the amount of time it takes for a Ceding scheme to transfer the pension. We've had instances where it's taken them months and months and months to do transfers. Even though they're transferring to a household name SIP, they've just been very slow, or the client has lived in a third-party country. Maybe they're based in America, or they're based somewhere else, they're based in Europe. They've seen this as some type of red flag or amber flag, and they go into a huge amount of work and due diligence checking that the client has been received regulated advice. Obviously, this is good because it protects clients, but sometimes the transfers can take so long that it was unnecessary, and the client can go back to them and say, actually, my transfer took so long, my other transfers are already done. Why did this one take so long? I've lost out on my growth in the market, and very often we can make a complaint to get back any missed growth. We actually had one client where the defined contribution transfer went on for 12 months. Yes, 12 months it went on for. We reported them to TPO on behalf of the client, we submitted it for the client to submit to them. And basically they ended up awarding in our favor. This was a client where the Ceding scheme in the UK said, we don't want to transfer it because that's a QROP scheme and we believe that it's not trustworthy. It's not really their decision to understand if something is trustworthy or not. It's a legal and statutory right to complete a transfer, or it was at that time when I was dealing with the client. Anyway, the result came back positive for the client. The client was actually awarded £2,000 in damages and £1,000 in damages towards his financial advisor because we had to do so much work in terms of getting it done and putting the complaint in for the client. We actually let the client keep our £1,000 because obviously we'd already had advice fees from working with him. We felt like it was the best thing to do. But the TPO, the Pensions Ombudsman, is there to help you when you have issues with any pension transfer matters. Now, if you're not happy with the result from the Pensions Ombudsman, it can then be referred on top of them to the Ombudsman itself to get a firm and final decision if you're not happy with the original outcome. However, the TPO, generally speaking, are there to protect clients. That doesn't mean they're just going to award in the favor of a client every single time, but if there has been misdoing on the provider's part, generally speaking, the TPO will rule on the side of the client because ultimately they are to protect consumers and make sure that everyone is getting a fair deal when making complaints about any pension transfer matters. A lot of people get confused and think, okay, I want to make a complaint about my portfolio or the advice I've had from my financial advisor. Unfortunately, that's not really the role of the Pensions Ombudsman. If you go and have poor advice from your financial advisor, he advises you invest in structured products and bad funds that became liquid or frozen, that's not actually the TPO's fault. There's no one regulating that. You took that advice from the advisor, you signed the paperwork and you agreed to it. If you signed all the terms and conditions to say that you understood everything, it's very difficult to then turn around and say, oh, I didn't understand it. So a bit of a differentiation there. When you get bad advice from a financial advisor, I'm sorry, but that bad advice, typically speaking, is on the client. Obviously, the financial advisor may have given bad advice. Perhaps they did it on purpose to make more money. Perhaps they did it because they didn't know what they were doing and they just did what they were told to do in their financial advisory firm. But as a client, you need to protect your best interest by doing as much due diligence, homework, and research on anyone that you're letting touch your money. And this is one of the funniest things I hear from clients when they're transferring, say, £1 million pension pot or 2 million or £500,000 pension pot. They're so obsessed with cost. Cost. Oh, I was talking to someone who said they could do my pension transfer for free. Yeah, good luck. Who works for free in this life? Nobody. There's different ways to skin a cat, as one of my old sales managers used to say. They will be finding a way to charge high commission, back-end charges, which over the course of time will dramatically reduce the performance of your portfolio and the retirement that you can have, or the money that you can pass on to your beneficiaries. So I would say you always need to protect yourself, pay a fee which you think is reasonable and fair for the quality of service that you get back, and ensure, I've got a video, top 12 things to ask your financial advisor, that you can have a look at as well, which basically outlines everything that you should be checking with your financial advisor to do your homework before trusting anyone with your money. Guys, I hope that's been a useful one for you today on pension complaints and the Pensions Ombudsman. If you have any questions, if you've had any good experiences, bad experience with the Ombudsman, please let me know in the comment section below, and I look forward to responding to you personally. As always, take care of your pensions and look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.